Hey guys, it's Sam and this is Top 5 Wednesday. Top 5 Wednesday was created by Lainey of Ginger Reads Lainey. I will link her channel as well as the Goodreads group down below for you to go check out for topics and such. This week's topic is our top 5 books that we are thankful for, and this one was actually kind of hard because I want to just name off all of my favorite books, but I feel like I do that every Top 5 Wednesday. I feel like I always manage to work in the same books. There's going to be a little bit of that in here as well, but I decided to pick books that I'm thankful for outside of just their story, outside of their characters. I'm thankful for them for a different reason, even though, like I said, there are going to be some repeats. I'm sure you can guess some of them, they're going to be in here. They're going to be for reasons outside of themselves, if that makes any sense. Number 5, just to get it out of the way, is the Grocery Trilogy by Leigh Bardugo, and I am thankful for this series because, as many of you know, I buddy read this series with Sarah Jane of the Book Life and Kristen from Cap A9X, and this fully solidified our friendship. We were already little budding friends, and now we talk on basically a daily basis, multiple times a day. We are the best of friends. I consider them some of my lifelong friends. I cannot wait to meet Sarah Jane in person. Thinking about it actually makes me start to tear up. Like, if I actually sat here and started thinking about meeting Sarah Jane in person in the future, I will start crying. I have been lucky enough that Kristen actually lives fairly close to me, so I've met her a few times now. I actually got to hang out with her at YALLFest, and we road trip down there together. So this book series just really solidified our friendship, and actually at YALLFest I got to meet Leigh Bardugo along with Kristen, and Sarah Jane had just met her a couple weeks previously in England, and we got to say like, hey, we all became friends because of your series, and it's just a cool experience. And I love this series for many reasons involved in the books and just the characters and the world and everything, but I really do love this series the most because it's like my friendship book with Kristen and Sarah Jane. Number 4 is very similar, and that is the Fallen Kingdom series by Morgan Rhodes, because this solidified another friendship, which is the friendship with the Wolfpack. The Wolfpack girls are Lainey from Ginger Reads Lainey, Jillian from Bookish and Nerdy, Kenya from My Little Bookshelf, Riley from Riley Marie, Kayla from Bookadoodles, and Shannon from Cozy Tea Reads. Those girls are amazing, and I was fortunate enough to meet some of them at BEA this year, and I actually roomed with some of them at BEA, and I kind of hold that to Fallen Kingdoms. I got into the series because some of them were talking about it on their channels, and then we just kind of started bonding over Fallen Kingdoms, and Fallen Kingdoms, just books in general, bring people together, but I feel like Fallen Kingdoms really has solidified a lot of bonds with people in my life, and I am very thankful to the series just for getting to meet those great girls, and again, some of my really great friends, people I talk to on a daily basis, and that I can fangirl with, and we all have the same deep appreciation of this series, which is currently ongoing. The next book is about to come out, guys. Frozen Tides is like right around the corner, and I can almost taste it. So I'm very thankful to this series, and just to Morgan Rhodes in general too, for being a great author, and for being an awesome person, for being really supportive of booktubers and book bloggers and everybody in her fandom. This series, guys. Number 3 is Saga by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, because this was the first graphic novel series that I ever read. This was actually the first comic book that I ever picked up, any kind of book really with pictures that I've picked up in a very, very long time, and this has fully solidified my love for graphic novels. I love this series. This series holds a very, very special place in my heart, but I would not have gotten into graphic novels like The Wicked and the Divine, which is also one of my favorite series of all time, without this series. This series was my gateway drug into graphic novels, and I'm very, very grateful. Number 2 is Malachi II by Ellen Brunert. I've done a full spoiler-free review on this if you want to check that out, but I am thankful for this book for a number of reasons. One, this book was recommended to me by my dad. He'd been recommending it to me for about a year or so before I read it, and I just had been putting it off and putting it off. I wanted to read it, I just hadn't gotten it, I hadn't bought it yet, etc, etc. And I read this book right before I had surgery back a couple months ago, and right before I got diagnosed with all the things that are currently affecting me now, and this book is about illness. The main character in this book has leprosy, and she lives with leprosy for a very, very long time, and it's just how she affects people, and how illness affects people, and how it affects your worldviews, and how things change when you're ill, and just everything about that. And it was just the perfect time for it, because it's a book I honestly feel like I needed to read at that moment just to kind of prepare me for what was happening and what is happening now. So I am so thankful that I read this at the time that I did. I am so thankful that I had this in the back of my mind as I was getting sick, and something that I couldn't have read while being ill, but reading it beforehand and then being able to look back on it and think about it while being ill has been actually a very cathartic experience for me. So I am very, very grateful for this book. This book is beautiful, even without having the experience of having an illness. It's just a beautiful historical fiction about people and family and relationships and everything, and I absolutely adore it. And number 1 is a series that I actually haven't talked about recently on my channel, but I used to talk about all the time, and that is the Anita Blake series by Laurel K. Hamilton. I'm grateful for the series for a number of reasons, but one is that it really got me back into reading. This is an adult urban paranormal fantasy series, and I was reading this in high school and college over and over and over again. While everyone else was reading Harry Potter and rereading it, I was rereading this series. And so this series is so close to my heart. I read it with my best friend in real life. Her and I have read all of the books in the series pretty much up to book 17. There's a lot of books in the series. It's an ongoing series. The author doesn't know when it's gonna end. I do have some gripes about the series, but I absolutely love it. And the characters feel like real people to me. They feel like they're friends. They're people that I kind of miss sometimes. I'm like, oh, I want to go back and see what so-and-so is doing. It's like, you know what so-and-so is doing. You have read this book 6 times. But I absolutely love this series. It really, again, reignited my love for reading way back in high school when it was kind of dwindling, when it was kind of dying a little bit, and then I picked up the series and I was hooked again, and it's really just led me into this wonderful world of books and reading and series and fangirling. This was the first series that I really fangirled over. I didn't have Tumblr at the time, but if I did, it would have been all Anita Blake devoted. It would have been a serious problem. But I absolutely love this series, and I look forward to finally finishing it one day when the series is completed. Alright guys, that is it for the top 5 books that I am thankful for. Comment down below and let me know some of the books that you are thankful for. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see all of you guys soon. Bye!